Hello, Smarkies. DJ here with
Liam Landry.
And we're doing I guess you can call it a special edition of Raw. We normally don't do Raws. Liam does NXT and I do SmackDown, as y'all know. But we went to Raw Monday night, and the Monday after Wrestle Mania, and it was.
Yeah, we're doing a review for the live, in audience perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because Issa was too cheap to go to Raw, so
Yes.
Yeah, so we have to do it for him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He will have his video up too, but him and Francesca will do their normal video. But we just wanted to do a reaction from being there live, and the crowd was phenomenal.
The crowd was very electric. I think at some points they were not very good at points, at least for distraction. I thought they had way too many beach balls. It just really takes away from the matches, and some stuff that would irk me with crowds, but overall they were very electric.
Yeah, it was pretty cool when a superstar would say something, the WWE, somebody would just make a chant of it and it would start going. It was pretty cool to see. I've never been. That's when it came here in 30, I don't think we went to Raw, and it was pretty cool to see my first ever Raw live. Because they always talk about the craziness of Raw, and
Raw after WrestleMania.
Raw after WrestleMania, and we do have some craziness. So let's get right to it.
Yeah, well, we start off with a segment where Stephanie McMahon comes out and addresses the crowd, and this was a really good point with the crowd, and really good work from Stephanie McMahon because she really manipulated that crowd. They really got the better of her. So it was great to heel work from Stephanie. Then we eventually had Ronda come out and confront her. And
we all thought she was going to, make friends with Stephanie McMahon, but in the end, she did the armbar again.
Yeah.
And it was, the crowd loved it. Very cool to see. So yeah, you should, y'all should check that segment out. I think it's going to be a cool feud with Triple H and with the Authority and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a nice segment to start off. Just get people worked up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, we go into the Nia Jax. It's a women's tag match between Alexa Bliss and Mickie James versus the team of Nia Jax and
a surprise up from NXT.
A call up, which was Ember Moon.
And you want to say something about that call up?
I think that the main roster doesn't care about NXT storylines, but it does hurt in a way Ember Moon's character on NXT. I do hope she comes back down while being on the main roster, comes back down to fight Shayna once again, because with this perspective, it looks like she's just kind of running away from Shayna, and that doesn't really look that great for her character.
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of thought she should have fought Shayna maybe one more time before being called up. It was just kind of stupid in my opinion. Like Liam said, I don't watch too much NXT, but it does make her look like she's running away from it. You can just tell that, and I hope they're not doing that. So yeah, it was. What about the match? The match was.
The match was very solid overall.
Yeah. I didn't see much of it.
It was mostly just a chance to showcase Ember Moon and get people associated with her for general audiences that don't watch NXT.
And who did she pin?
She pinned Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
After hitting her finisher.
That was
Clips.
Yeah,
which is one of the more over finishers in WWE right now.
Oh, yeah. She does have a very cool finisher. So that was. I didn't see much of it, so if Liam says it's worth it, it must be worth it.
Yeah, it was solid. It wasn't super great, but it was a very solid matchup.
Yeah, great.
After that, there was also something you missed part of. It was Braun Strowman relinquishing the titles. Braun and Nicholas, I should say. I would say this was a great segment, and it was another opportunity where they really worked the crowd well. Like, they really thought of what the crowd was going to think of. Because Braun came out there, he was talking to Kurt Angle about having to relinquish the titles and everything. And and the crowd's chanting, we want Nicholas, we want Nicholas. And then, like as they starting to do it, Kurt Angle's just like, oh, by the way, where's Nicholas? And he's like, oh, he's right here behind me. So it's like they really knew what the crowd was going to start chanting and worked with that. And it was just a great moment. They said they had to relinquish the titles because Nicholas has scheduling conflicts because he's still in the 4th grade, just as Braun Strowman says. Yeah, so I mean,
and from that we have another. I'm just gonna go right into it. Another segment with the former tag team champions, the Bar, and Kurt Angle backstage, and he says, "Y'all get your rematch at the greatest Royal Rumble ever, pay-per-view, in Judah, and they'll have what do you call it?
Well, they had a small tag team tournament to decide who they were competing against. They were going to have 2 matches that night, and then those 2 winners will face off next week, and that'll be the people that they fight at the greatest Royal Rumble.
I know most of y'all probably know who they're going to fight because it's been shown already.
I mean, they changed that up. Because initially they were advertising the Hardy Boys fighting that, but they've taken Jeff and well, they've taken Jeff out. They're still going to have Matt and Woke and Bray Wyatt. So maybe that's because maybe Hardy Boys was a placeholder for that.
Just in case this didn't work out?
No, because they wanted to kind of keep that as a surprise, I guess.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, that was... Okay, cool. So, yeah. So it's
probably leaning towards them, but that would be the obvious choice anyways.
Right. So, we did have all those... the first match was... What? Who was it? Oh, it was... wasn't it Heath Slater and... what's his name? Versus Authors of Pain?
I mean, we'll get to that one.
Oh, okay, yeah. That wasn't next. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. The next one was No Way Jose, another NXT call-up, and he defeated an unnamed jobber.
Yeah, that was a quick match.
Yeah, very quick match. And, I think the audience liked No Way Jose. So, I mean, there were people chanting for the jobber, let's go jobber, so they didn't like No Way Jose. But, it's... it wasn't really worth it, but, it's... Not a horrible debut.
No. I mean, I've seen debuts like that before where somebody comes in, wins in 30 seconds, and the match is over,
Yeah.
I don't like it, but that's, they don't have a lot of time. If they want to get everything in, it's kind of hard, so.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Next was Backstage Segment where the Ball confronts them, like you were talking about.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. And then we had our first match of the tournament, which was the Revival versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
Oh, yeah.
Which are, Baylor Club, I guess. I mean, they never come out with Baylor, but anyways.
It was a pretty good match, huh?
Yeah, the Revival ended up winning. So this was a good match.
It did go back and forth a lot, which was good to see for a Raw match. So, I think y'all should check that out.
Yeah, Carl Anderson looked really good in this match, and the Revival looked good too. They've had some other matches before that I think were a little bit better, but it was still a very good matchup.
Yep.
Then we just had the point where Seth Rollins came out and was cutting a promo. Then Finn Balor and The Miz followed, and then we ended up having that showdown between The Miz and Miztourage and Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Yeah,
your Intercontinental champion, by the way.
Yep.
And Jeff Hardy interrupts and comes in to the aid of...
Yeah, Jeff Hardy makes his return from injury to come in there, and that's there to set up a match, a 6-man tag match at the end of the night
between The Miz and the Miztourage versus Jeff Hardy, Balor, and your champion.
Oh yeah,
Seth Rollins. Yeah. So you know that.
Yeah, so that was just kind of a segment. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Worth It, when we get to the match.
The match, yeah.
Next we had Mandy Rose versus Sasha Banks. And it had a really weird part where Bayley came down immediately for whatever reason, instead of just kind of saving it for midway in the match. And then she goes to attack Mandy Rose, and then attacks Sasha Banks instead, and it doesn't even get disqualified. You know, I just completely forgot about that rule, and I didn't think it was that great.
No, the crowd was kind of silent during this match, I think.
Yeah.
And it was just Absolution, like East has been saying the last few weeks, has not been getting pushed too much. And Mandy Rose did win, but they just really haven't been getting pushed. And I think Absolution slowly started to break up because after that, Paige officially announces her retirement. Because if you don't remember, she did win the Divas title at WrestleMania 30 with her debut. So it was a kind of a somber moment. It seems like she's not going to be in WWE anymore. Any thoughts on
that? No, it was it's a good tear-jerking moment. So
yeah, if you want to find out,
I'll also go back to say that they're being really wishy-washy with the whole Sasha Banks Bayley feud. I really just kind of wish they went and turned Sasha heel and really did the feud, justice. Especially since it was so good when they did that back in NXT.
Yeah. But WWE never does it as well as NXT did.
Anyways, we had Elias come out and do one of his segments.
He probably got the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah. Everyone was very over with him. Well, he's over with the crowd a lot.
Yeah.
Then we had, interrupting him, the return of Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, that got a huge pop. The crowd loved it. The crowd was actually shocked.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors of him coming back, but it was still quite a shock for people to see him there.
Yeah, that's one of your surprise call-ups, I guess, or not call-up, but a surprise return.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
And then after that, I think we forgot to talk about how in a backstage segment earlier in the night, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came to Kurt Angle asking to be hired to Raw, and Kurt Angle said they only have one opening left, so they're going to have a match together to see who gets that last opening.
And we will talk about that later.
Because we're getting to that's the next match.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm bringing that up now.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. No, sorry, that wasn't the next match. That was the segment. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Good.
Okay.
So there we go. All right.
Okay. The next match was Heath Slater and Rhino coming out and calling out any tag team from the back.
I got kids.
When did you have a kid?
I don't have kids. Heath Slater's got kids. That's why he needs to win this match, man.
Anyways, they called out, any tag team in the back, and of course that's code for, bring someone up, and it was the Authors of Pain.
To me, that was a surprise. Were you? Or was
no,
it rumored?
I thought they were going to be going up soon. I've been saying that in my NXT reviews that they were probably going to be going up anytime soon.
And I hope WWE keeps them strong like they did in NXT.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. It, it's a very quick match. Another one that was really, really quick, which I guess is why they were able to fit so many matches onto the card.
Yeah.
But they did have the interesting point where after the match they were going to walk to the back, and then the Authors of Pain stopped Paul Ellery, their manager, and just walked off without him. So it was like, so they're leaving him behind. So I hope they know what they're doing with them, because Paul Ellery was he didn't always speak out there, and he didn't really have to interfere with the match, but he was added a lot of mystique to it, because they were always built as these kind of uncontrollable, beasts, and he was kind of holding them back. I think even at TakeOver, there was a literal point where he was holding on to their shirts because they just want to run in and attack the other two tag teams before the match started.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
So he definitely adds to mystique. So it seems crazy that they're getting rid of him, but, let's see what they do with it.
Right.
Then after that, we had, everybody's favorite, Roman Reigns. He comes out to cut a promo, and everyone booed him a lot.
That's it. We're done with that.
Even in this,
but wait,
even in this report I'm looking up, they titled this segment as Roman Reigns complains, because that's really what it seemed like, a lot of complaining. And then we had the return of Samoa Joe, which everyone was very hyped about.
Yeah,
and Joe really just owns him on the mic. It was a really bad beatdown. Roman even looked worse coming out of this segment.
It looks like if Roman Reigns wins, we're gonna have Joe versus Roman Reigns for the title. But
yeah, they did already say they're gonna have a match at Payback.
No, Backlash.
Backlash, sorry.
Backlash is the next co-brand.
Yeah. They're gonna have Backlash, but I think, pretty sure the Greatest Royal Rumble was before that.
Yes, the Greatest Royal Rumble was before that. Joe mentioned that too.
Yeah, and
it's a steel cage versus him and Brock Lesnar.
Yes, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar in a steel cage for the title. So if Roman wins it there, then it'd be Roman versus Joe for the title.
And I hope when this match happens, that they push it up right. Give it the right storyline. Have Joe keep messing with him on the mic, and hopefully they do something better with Roman Reigns in the future.
Okay, so then we get to the second match in the tag team tournament, the short tag team tournament that they were doing. We had Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, the Woken verse, I guess we can call them, versus Titus Worldwide, with the Woken verse winning. Yes,
and this match was really good. They had Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, I was surprised, worked really well together.
Yeah. I would even say the match was wonderful. Yeah, so that's, of course, just more, Woken stuff. Yeah, it's everybody's loving that, and it wasn't as much of anything to write home about, in match wise, but everyone still was very hyped for it, and it was, of course, the first time we're seeing the Wokenverse as a tag team, out there. So it's basically like a debut match. So
and it was.
So it played out like a debut match,
and it was worth it.
Yeah, just for the entertainment value overall. And then, and I said the Wokenverse won, so they're going to be facing the Revival next week, and will probably win.
Authors of Pain.
Revival. Authors of Pain weren't in it.
Oh, they were in the match. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, so it's Revival versus Woken Universe next week, and it'll probably be Woken Universe versus The Bar at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
We'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in their match from what we talked about earlier in the night.
It was worth it.
Yeah, it was definitely the match of the night.
They work well together.
Yeah, I mean, they've always have. It's just very commonplace now that they work together. I mean, they've been feuding for like 10 years now, so they know how to work with each other.
Yeah.
It ended with both men being eliminated because they couldn't respond to the 10 counts. So that's a great way. I much prefer that over, not being able to get back in the ring at, with the count of 10 or disqualification endings.
Yeah.
That seems so much better because it shows that these guys went at each other so much that they weren't able to stand up in time.
Yeah.
So it's a better storytelling capabilities, and it keeps the idea of how they're going to get onto Raw even longer, or if they do go back to SmackDown somehow.
Please go back to SmackDown. Please go back to SmackDown.
Okay. Yeah, but it was a very good match overall. Worth it. Definitely worth it. How about you?
Oh, yeah. I've been watching them on SmackDown for weeks, and they know how to wrestle. They know how to work together, and they've been doing it ever since I've been watching, ever since they debuted. So they know how to wrestle, and I like Sami Zayn's style. He has that fast-paced style. Kevin Owens is a little more upfront, bigger guy, and he fights a little harder, and it complements the styles work good together, so it was worth it.
Anyways, after that, we had another great backstage segment with the, Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, and Jeff Hardy all meeting up with each other.
Yeah.
And this was, just another great Woken segment.
Jeff Hardy agrees with the Bray Wyatt joining the family.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the best parts of that was Finn Balor's and Seth Rollins' reactions to it.
What was that? They were just kind of shocked.
Yeah. So that was really good, and it was set up to the last match of the night, which is Miz and the Miztourage versus Jeff, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor.
And I gotta say, that match was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was a very good matchup.
They let Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel do more in the ring than I thought.
Yeah.
Because they don't fight that often, so to let them do that much is kind of surprising to me. I mean,
yeah, but it was a good match. I feel worth it.
And who got the pin? Do you remember?
It was
Jeff Hardy, maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, okay. But yeah, that match it was good. So yeah.
Yeah, and then they really just destroyed the Miztourage afterwards, with them hitting all their finishers on both members.
Yeah.
So it was a good ending to the match. Good ending to the night, I should say.
And overall, Raw was very good. It's one of the more crazy nights. You get a lot of call-ups, as we saw, about 3 or 4 of them. And I say I give it an A+. I mean, shit, it was really worth it.
Yeah, and it's always those excitement from call-ups that always really helps. I mean, it made all the difference in the world for, the Heath Slater Rhino matchup and the Alexa Bliss Nia Jax tag team matchup, to have those call-ups to be in there.
Yeah,
really it allows them to elevate and everything. So it was overall a very good night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So please like, share, subscribe, and hit those notifications. And you can follow Liam
at Liam_SWA on Twitter. And make sure to hit the notifications, because we are going live on this Sunday and every Sunday for a podcast at 1 o'clock Central Time to 2 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah. And on pay-per-view days, we will be going 30 minutes over to have a little kind of pre-show to talk about the pay-per-view. So please check us out. And even if you don't like WWE, we will have a little non-WWE stuff for you. So please check it out. It's going to be fun. Trying something new. So until next time.